You know what time it is. You're listening to the Urban Sports Scene and Bowie TV Baltimore Ravens recap show. I'm Wole. I'm joined with my co-host, Bowie TV's Ravens beat reporter, Carita Parks. What's going on, Carita?
Up. It's a
I,
new week. Got some rest.
I know you.
They
Okay.
watched Thursday night football, so
It was like you was on a bye, right? You was on like an extra bye,
a
right?
little mini bye,
Yeah.
and I appreciated it.
I know that's right. All right, last Thursday on primetime, the Baltimore Ravens defeated the Cincinnati Bengals, in a thriller 35-34. Before we talk about all that, let's knock out the logistics. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene and Bowie TV YouTube channels. This recap is also being streamed on both channels. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. I mentioned the score, I mentioned the game. I know it seemed like a minute ago, but on prime time, the Ravens beat the Bengals 35-34. Carita, your overall thoughts on that thrilling game?
Yeah, that was an interesting game. I was definitely worried in the first half because the Ravens the offense in particular wasn't able to get into their normal groove. They didn't start fast like they typically do, and then they went into halftime down. So I was worried. It definitely looked like it was all Cincinnati at that point. Even coming out of halftime, Cincinnati scored again and they made it 21-7. So it just wasn't looking good. But the Ravens, they turned it around. And that is one thing that I will always say about this team. They are resilient. And if there is a will, there is a way with them. And so they put it in a position to where they were able to win that game. And so, yeah, I mean, hats off. If you look at a lot of their games this season, you know, some of them they've won convincingly, but others they've had to find a way to win. And I think it's going to come in handy. Obviously, that's not the way you want the game to be. But Lamar Jackson did say Marlon Humphrey's strip fumble. Turned the game around, and he said it woke them up.
And so you feel like that was a turning point itself?
That was absolutely a turning point because that game looked like it could possibly be getting out of hand. And yeah, definitely that was at the point Cincinnati had scored out of halftime, I believe, just off my because I believe that was in the second half.
You're right. No, you're right.
Yes, Cincinnati has scored, and the Ravens got the ball back, weren't able to do anything with it. Defense made a play, and then from that point on, it seemed like the offense, as Lamar said, woke up. And they were able to start putting points on the board. As a matter of fact, it was 21 unanswered points after.
So, like, why do you think this team was so sluggish, though? Was it the Bengals, it being a divisional game, or it just?
I mean, they came off a Sunday, playing on Sunday, and then they had to play Thursday. And I know it's the NFL, and everybody says they're professionals, and I get it. But that's a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Because typically they are off on Mondays, but they were back at the facility on Monday. They did a walkthrough, but even on Monday when we talked to Lamar, he seemed like a little sluggish himself.
Yeah.
Even though he's always cool to talk with, but he definitely seemed like, oh, we back already, So yeah, I definitely think that quick turnaround has something to do with it. But at the same time, the Bengals had the same turnaround.
Yeah.
So they just came out more refreshed.
Gotcha.
And also, though, the Bengals, and not to say that the Ravens didn't have a sense of urgency.
Okay.
The Bengals, they lost that last game, right?
Yeah.
So they're coming in trying to attack. And with the Ravens coming off a game on Sunday, I just think that it took them some time to recalibrate, which is not the scenario you want, but that seems to be what happened.
It's crazy because you can tell we've been doing this for a while. Because I was going to ask you that. See, now great minds think alike. I was feeling like that's what I felt. I felt like there's a thing about a team being more desperate. The Bengals still have playoff aspirations, championship aspirations, and you don't want to fall that behind. They dug in their hole and they've been playing decent football, and they know they need to win this game. And you don't want to get swept by one of your division rivals. And I felt like that, like you said, they're a little more hungrier, especially what happened last game in Cincinnati. They probably felt like they had a better chance. They had a chance. That's not a better chance, but a chance to win.
There were a lot of factors, and I believe they won. Yeah, they had won their game coming into the Ravens game, so they had that momentum, additional momentum. So there were a lot of factors going on for the Bengals.
Yeah, like I told you, I totally agree. I felt like, to your point, they were the more desperate team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So on our pregame show, I thought the Ravens would do better against the Bengals. Offense. I did because T. Higgins we talked about T. Higgins being out. And that did happen. He was out. Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow.
He was definitely out.
I know Joe Burrow it's wild. He found Jamar Chase often ain't the word. But he found him enough. Like, Chase had an unbelievable game with 11 catches for 264 yards. Let me say that again. 11 catches for 264 yards. That is like Madden numbers. All right, like he pretty much took T. Higgins stats and said, "No, what, bro, you out? I got you. I'll put it. You put your stats with me. We got this." So, like I said, 3 touchdowns. We talk about this Ravens secondary all the time, like every week. And I know, we know that Chase is that dude. We know this, but it's a different level. All right, we talk about 264 yards. How did the Ravens let Chase go off for 200 plus yards, man? Like, how is that not an emphasis to stop him, knowing that T. Higgins is out?
Well, Jamar Chase, he had here's 2 reasons.
Yeah, go ahead.
He had 2 touchdowns that only took 1 play. 1 play. He went 67 yards the first time, 70 yards the second time. 1 play. I promise you, the first time it happened, I literally looked down for a moment. And I looked up and I was like, what just happened? He was in the end zone right in front of me. And I'm like, what just happened? Because I'm like, I know that did not just happen.
Exactly.
And I mean, that was just ridiculous. And Coach Harbaugh was asked about it after the game, but he was asked about it on this past yesterday. And in his Monday press conference, and he basically, he gave Jamar Chase his flowers because, of course, Jamar Chase is good, but he also said they got to play their coverages better. He was like, especially in that deep middle and intermediate part of the field, he said that is where they are getting burned, as we know. And, he talked about that being a number 1 priority for them to fix. But I will say he sounded a bit more stricter about it because he specifically said that those, in that part of the field, middle part of the field, that guys are getting open way too often and it's happening way too much. And that's the first time he said it in, like I said, such a strict fashion. So it's a huge issue. And then afterwards, Marlon Humphrey, after the game, went on 1:43. 1:43.
Oh, did he?
On a rant for that long, seriously, about the secondary and the pass defense. He's like, something has got to change. He was like, we are not going to go far if our defense continues to play like this. He's like, I want to go far. And he talked about being a rookie and a second-year player and how there was a certain standard when it came to their pass defense. He said, I just feel like that standard is lost. He was like, we're not executing. He's like, we have good practices, but we're not executing it in the games. And this is probably the second or third time Marlon Humphrey has spoken so passionately about the issues that they are having in the secondary. And one thing I'll say, he's not putting the blame on anybody. He was, I'm a leader in this group and I'm not happy with, what he's put together in the secondary. So he's putting a lot of it on him as a leader. But it's becoming, like you said, we talk about this every week. It comes up in the press conferences every week. And every week it's the same thing. I just don't know what is happening. But I agree with Marlon Humphrey. The formula of Lamar Jackson getting in shootouts is not going to continue to work, particularly in the playoffs when teams are desperate to go to the next stage. They got to get it together.
And especially when we talk about Ravens football, man, we talk about this defense, man. At the end of the day, we're all happy with it. Like we're happy Lamar is taking this game to the next level.
Oh, for
But
sure.
but come on, man. The Ravens' identity has always been historically run the football and playing good defense. They still run the football. Lamar's amazing at throwing the football. But this defense got to be more stout
And to
because
the defense's credit, I will say up front, they got a lot more pressure on Joe Burrow. And that in the pass rush had been a bit of an issue as well. But they definitely stepped that up against the Bengals. However, what happened with Jamar Chase just can't happen. And I know we don't usually go ahead, but they got George Pickens coming up, who is developing a really good connection with Russell Wilson. What I'm saying.
No, you're right, though. You're right.
Russell Wilson's been able to unlock his potential, and he's been having success. And then they added Mike Williams, who got a little bit of action in the Commanders game.
I know.
So
yeah, he got some action. All right. So, but you're right though. There are some things they have to work. Man, like again, we talk about this often. Like I feel like, and I appreciate Marlon Humphreys for being like a leader. But you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, it's like this has been a consistent thing. And he's right though. And you're right too. I don't argue with it at all. Like they can't go far if this defense is playing this way. Like regardless of the fact, because you're gonna find, for instance, you're going to in the playoffs, Lamar. You're going to find it. It's the playoffs. You're gonna have tougher teams. Will be tough. You ain't gonna be able to score 35 some odd points consistently on some of these playoff teams because the intensity goes up. So your defense, if your secondary has been bad throughout the season, that's going to show out, and even in the postseason. So you got to shore some things up. And let's move into the next topic in terms of trying to shore things up. Tre'Davious White, he didn't play Thursday night. And, he's new to the team. He's a guy who's been a former Pro Bowler. Do you feel like he can change this Ravens secondary to a point where now we can say, like, all right, this is that championship defense we need to see?
If he can, and it sounds like, he has sort of a chip on his shoulder. If he can come in with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, he said he wants to earn his way into playing based on practice.
Love it.
So he sounds hungry. And I think that if he can come in with a hunger to prove himself, especially how things went down with him in LA and kind of how that departure occurred and how he was inactive for a few games, if he could come in wanting to prove himself, I don't know if I would say he would fix it, because one person isn't the end all be all, but I'm hoping he can be a factor to shifting what we have seen in the secondary lately. Can he fix it 100%? I wouldn't put that all on him, but I am definitely hoping that he could come in and be a factor and be disruptive. Marlon Humphrey's been playing extremely well, and I'm not taking away from anyone, but Marlon Humphrey's been the guy making plays, and he's turned more than one game around.
I agree.
So if Tre'Davious White can come in and add to that, I think they need a spark right now. And maybe, just maybe, he could be a spark.
No, I'm with you. I think that, like, for me, he needs to be injected to the starting line because something has to change. Marlon Humphreys is fine. He's been like, you can't, just because the secondary as a whole isn't good, that's not on him. That's one man can't change everything. One man can't change everything in the secondary. Like you said, he's made so many key plays for this defense that you can't even put him in the discussion. So I don't put him in the discussion. But I like Stevens, but at the end of the day, you gotta step up. It is what it is. You gotta step up. Nate Wiggins is a rookie, and he's a solid. I mean, he's a solid rookie. But you got to. This team is aiming for a championship. You can't have games like this, and we can't. This team can't wait on your growing pains. And so you got a guy who's been in big games in Buffalo, who's been on a team's best wide receiver and had success in the past. So and he's playing with a chip on the shoulder. I think you got to inject him in the starting lineup. Somebody got to move. Somebody got to get moving and be on the bench. It's unfortunate.
They have to at this point. Yeah. If we are 10 games into the season and still having this conversation, traded for him. At first, I know last week when we talked, I said he'd probably be a guy in the rotation, and he is going to more than likely be in the rotation at first. That is kind of what Coach Harbaugh also alluded to yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But if he shows that he could come in and make a difference, like you said, we are at a point you want to go to the Super Bowl, not just the playoffs. You want to go to the Super Bowl. So you're going to have to make some decisions that people may not like that are on the field playing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's at the point now, and it's no knock on, it's not at the point now where it don't even matter about people. Like, it don't matter. Like, he should get this opportunity. Like, will this here goes. Yeah, we talked about this, Paul. He said, will the secondary be at the Achilles heel in the playoffs? Yeah, we said yeah, if they play like this.
Said,
yeah.
And
but,
speaking of that, I'm just really quick.
Go ahead.
I would just the way Lamar is playing, offensively, I would just hate for the defense.
That's my problem.
Be the reason.
That's my problem.
That they don't go far, because he's really done, not just Lamar, the offense has really done what they need to do in these games, even with the sluggish start. Finding a way to put it together and make a comeback was impressive. And I would just hate for the year that he's having for it to be the defense.
Yeah. No, that's with me. That's where I'm at. I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think you can't waste the season.
No.
Like, I'm being real. Like, you can't waste what he's doing. What he's doing is historical in terms of his game. Like, usually quarterbacks they're putting the season that he's putting together are going to the bowl. Like, they're going to the bowl
level right now.
Yeah,
he's on another level. And even in that game, the Bengals game, he's just sitting on the bench watching. That's all he could do at that point, because he was in the defense's hands. And like Marlon Humphrey said, he wants to end the games on defense.
Yeah.
And they haven't been able to do that, really.
Exactly. And I just feel like, to your point, you can't waste it. That's why I'm like, yo, like, we talking rotation, like, and I'm with you, like, that's the part of the plan. But I don't even know if I wait for a rotation again, because these people, like,
yeah, you're right. It's week 10.
It's week 10. But I don't know. Like, they show you who they like. I'm a firm believer. When somebody show you who they are, don't ignore them. There's no need to ignore them. They're telling you who they are.
Yeah, at this point, something's got to turn around, because especially when you got the Steelers, the Chargers, and the Eagles are your next 3 games.
Those are all tough teams, all playing good football right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, even like Paul said, seeing the Ravens be an offensive team is so unreal. They are outscoring teams. They are. They're not even.
And I mean, that's great. I'm glad that I'm fine with them being an offensive team.
Yeah.
To me, the defense doesn't have to be the defense of the past. They just have to be able to make stops.
I agree. This is my thing, is like, when you're a playoff team and you're at the level where the Ravens are playing football. Like I mentioned, like, we all know, like, Jamar Chase is that dude. That's not a discussion. Dude, he's that dude. But when you're missing the other guy who is the other guy like that, there's no way. I get him getting 100 yards. Don't get twisted. Like, you're not going to stop. But the way he played, like the way he was playing out there, the way they covered him, it was like, nah, you got to let someone else beat you. That's what I'm saying. You just got to say, we're just going to shift everybody over there. So everybody over there.
You're playing a lot of man-to-man coverage.
Yeah, like, you don't play Jamar Chase one-on-one.
Somebody else needs to be over there with him.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like, it's not even like this team is solid against the run, and they stopped the run. The secondary has always been an issue. There's nobody on their wide receiving core other than Jamar Chase that should scare you, for real. Like, there's nobody that should scare you.
Using their tight ends heavily, but I would rather, to your point, let the tight end beat me rather than Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
So I guess Lamar and Jamar.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I was about to slip up myself. So that's why they had to slow myself down. But yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, I just feel like we talk about this secondary enough a lot, and I'm like, yo, y'all gotta come on, man. Like,
yeah, the story has not changed.
Yeah. And I like them, and I like some of the dudes. It's like every week I told you, like, I like Stevens, but I'm like, damn, bro, I can't even stick up for you anymore, man. Like, you got work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like
the Stevens. The fans is going
off. I know they are.
Like, I don't even know if it's his video. I think it just might be the game video, but woo.
Yeah, I can't stick up. I can't stick up for some of these dudes anymore. And I like the rookie. I like Wiggins too. I'm not. Again, I don't never. Again, you see, I never talk about Marlon Humphreys because I just feel like he's playing his role. So I never talk about him But the other
Mark
individuals,
is
they got to step up.
at a very high level.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. So you talking about Lamar. We talking about Lamar playing all world. The game we had the game winner drive, the touchdown to Bateman with 100 with 149 minutes left on the clock. First off, can you just talk about how clutch he was on that drive and also his growth as a quarterback in those situations?
Yeah, it's interesting watching it back because as soon as he released the ball, he started turning away with his hands up, going towards the bench like this. It's like as soon as he released it, it's just like he knew it was money. So that is quite impressive. But like you said, Lamar has grown when it comes to those game-winning drives. He's showing more poise. And also, right before that drive, he threw to Bateman. Bateman didn't catch that one, and he went right to him. So he's still, he's just been out there making plays, using his mind, just controlling the situation, essentially. And a lot of complaints in the past when it came to Lamar was in those situations that he did not come through. But like I said, you see him out there with composure, not panicking, not throwing a lot of picks in those situations, even though he kind of got away with one that could have been. But thank goodness it wasn't. But just the poise that he's showing and the control of the offense that he's showing, it just shows his growth. And I mean, you could see even from last season, he's just a lot more in control of the offense, I feel. And I don't want to say he has more confidence. I just think that Todd Monken has given him the confidence to go out there and make the decisions that you need to make in those moments. I mean, obviously they're calling the plays and stuff, but if Lamar sees something and he needs to change it, they've given him the power to do that.
Yeah, I think you touched on something really cool. I do think that Todd Monken has given him the confidence to say, you know what, you're not this one-dimensional quarterback, right? Like this quote-unquote running quarterback. I believe in you. I know you can do a lot more, and he's showing it. You know what I mean? So I think that's a dope relationship that they have, and you can see it. From last year was the beginning of it. He was with the MVP last year, right? But then to grow on that another year in the system, to grow on it, and you see his improvement. I think that you're right. Todd Monken deserves a lot of credit. You know what I mean? There's a lot of credit just in terms of, like you said, believing in Lamar Jackson. I think that's something that you can see, and Lamar appreciates it, and he's thrived in it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Totally agree. That's a really good point. So, but how dope it is for Lamar knowing that, say, like that Kansas City game when he was leading that team down, and he was clutch, but it was on that. It was like a finger, like a toe.
It was just a toe.
Which is a toe off. And now to come through, I mean, he comes through on a drive. Now we could talk about what happened with Joe Burrow and they scored or whatever, and they're going for 2. But let's just talk about this. Like, how satisfying was it for Lamar to have like that passing touchdown clutch moment? Definitely compared to what we saw in Week 1 with the Chiefs.
Repeat the question. I'm sorry.
Oh, basically, how do you feel like Lamar feels knowing that, like what you said earlier? You said that folks said Lamar wasn't like clutching those moments, right? Building on that, right? Knowing that what happened in Kansas City, where he didn't come through because of a toe, but now in this game on prime time as well, people get to see him come through. Like how satisfied do you feel like that is for Lamar?
I think it's satisfying, but just in the coverage that I've done with Lamar over the past year or so, he just kind of takes those things in stride because, as he said, I don't know if it was this week or last week, but he said he has his eye on the prize. So I feel like he just kind of takes those things in strides. I don't think he gets too high about it, too low about it. Now, and I don't want to say he didn't come through in the Kansas City game because, I mean, essentially,
he did.
His receiver caught the ball. The ball was where it needed to be. It was just, it was a little bit too far.
No, I'm just saying, like, yeah, I'm with you. I didn't say he wasn't clutch, but I'm just saying, like, to actually come through, like, the end result was like, because he was clutch. That drive, I even said it on.
That was a clutch drive, and that was a moment where like you had to score. Like they had to score.
Yeah.
So I love it that it happened for him. I love that it happened on prime time. And what I do think, although I say he takes those moments in stride, I do feel like the more you're able to do that, the better that sets you up as you go on this playoff run. Because you know that you can make that happen. But not only that you can make it happen, you can trust your receivers or you can trust your receivers to make those catches.
Facts. No, I know I agree. I do agree. I think it's dope for him, man. Like I think this whole season has been like just seeing the growth of Lamar Jackson has been like, I feel like something super dope. Paul, I agree with this. Yeah, obviously, yeah. I mean, this is what Lamar's aiming for. He clutching the regular. He's in the regular playoffs is the key. Yeah, regular season.
Oh,
that's
he's
the regular season. Playoffs is the key. Like having that clutch moment. Yeah, and I think that. But I think to Carita's point that it ain't something that we've seen. Like he hasn't been like, I think this is different even in regular season in the past. Like even his regular seasons is growth. This season has been growth compared to prior regular seasons.
I saw something recently where he's already reached like the milestones that he reached at the end of last year, which was an MVP season. So he's already way ahead of himself this season than he was last year. And he was MVP last year.
Oh, yeah, his stats, everything is like, he's crazy. His stats are crazy. Like I said, he's playing video game numbers right now, man.
Just like you said, when you're playing at that level, you deserve to be in the Super Bowl. You deserve to, see if you can take that Lombardi home.
It's like, I'm gonna be real. It's almost like I'm gonna be real with you. It's like so I'm gonna age myself with some of these people who are listening. It's like when Randy Moss was with Randall Cunningham and they didn't get to the Super Bowl. They had a special year and they lost because the kicker missed the kick. Like they were in an NFC Championship game, kicker missed the kick. Or when they were undefeated when Randy Moss and the Patriots were undefeated, he had like Tom Brady and they all broke world records, but they didn't win the Super Bowl because the Giants beat them, right? It's like when you have a season like this, you need it to be capped off. Like we say, like it's funny. You say we both say like get to the bowl, but to be real with you, the season's so special for him. A W, man, in the bowl. That's how I look at this because I feel like this season is so special. What did you say?
I'm just taking it one step at a time.
I know, I feel you, but I feel like when the season is this special, when you're having a special season, it's not just he's the MVP right now. It's the numbers he's putting up is a season where you want it to be rewarded. You know what I'm saying? And you cover the dude, and you know how
Lamar. Yeah. I mean, Derrick Henry's having an amazing season.
Yeah,
as well. Both of them, and not to take away from any of the Zay Flowers is doing well. Yeah. I mean, the offense is really clicking, but Derrick Henry, we talked about this. He's a Hall of Famer. He deserves that Super Bowl too. They both do. Everybody does, but particularly Lamar and Derrick Henry, what they've been able to do together has been.
I got a comment from Paul, but I can answer this one. This is easy for me. Ravens have to worry about the Steelers and Chiefs because both those defenses can stop the Ravens every other drive. Can the Ravens off defense stop those teams? I'll talk about the Steelers. The Ravens be all right with Steelers. I'm sorry. They'll be all right against Steelers. Their offense is better. Their offense can dice the Steelers up. I'm not impressed with the Steelers. I mean, as a Commanders fan, I'm not impressed with the Steelers defense. I'm not going to hold you. But in the offense, the Steelers offense, to Carita's point, yeah, I mean, the Ravens secondary, we have to see how they improve over the next couple of weeks with Tre'Davious White. But the Chiefs are interesting because the Chiefs do play good defense. But don't forget, again, the Ravens competed with the Chiefs already in the opening week, and that game was still close. So that can go. And Patrick Mahomes in the postseason, I don't argue. Like that's Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. So you're just gonna have to play your best football against Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. He's just a different dude. But in terms of the Steelers, I'm not gonna We'll learn enough about the Steelers when the Ravens and Steelers match up. That's how I look at it. But I'm not. I wouldn't. If I'm
my only concern with the Steelers is since 2019, the Ravens have only beat them twice.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. They don't. historically they have not played well against the Steelers. That does not mean the Steelers are the better team, or have been the better team, but the Steelers have seemed to figure out a formula to at least slow down the Ravens. But they've never played the Ravens with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and they never played this version of Lamar Jackson either.
That's true too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the different. Everything is just different. Everything got to be in a different context. You're going to compare. Post going to compare Lamar with the Steelers to prior Lamar. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's different. This Lamar, if everybody can agree, this is the best version of Lamar that we've ever seen in the NFL. So, and then like you said, Carita, and you got Derrick Henry, so it's a different monster. The Steelers still got to score a lot. That's what I'm saying. The Steelers still got to score enough, and the Steelers aren't a high-powered scoring team.
I would have to look.
They're not a high-powered scoring team. They're just not.
Keeping it real, the Steelers and the Commanders game was mad close.
Yeah, but that was like annoying. They shouldn't have been close though. That's all.
It shouldn't have been close, but that's my point. Like, my point is, if the Steelers were having that much trouble with the Commanders, I feel like if the Ravens can be on point, they will have an easier time potentially.
They should. The Steelers aren't that good to me. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I'll say it. I mean, I wasn't impressed. I'm gonna be real with you. I just wasn't impressed.
But at the same time, we still got to respect their record.
Yeah, they're a division team. They're a division team. So I understand. Yeah. I'm not going to act like I like just like the Bengals. You know, just like the Bengals. When you play a division opponent who is good, like the Bengals aren't sorry, who are good, you're going to struggle. It's a division game. You know what I'm saying? It's a division game. We've seen this in every
division games are like.
Yeah, in all different divisions.
AFC North,
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like the Ravens, as good as they are, and and the teams they beat, they had a tough battle with the Browns, right? Like you'll see, like the Bengals have been, but they had a tough. The Bengals have struggle with certain teams too. So like when you're in a division, these teams play tight games regardless. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the Steelers played a division game yet, to be honest with you. So I'm trying to.
No, this is their first.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll learn enough about the Steelers in the division game. That's how I look at it. We'll learn enough about the Steelers Ravens. But Korea, we'll talk about that during the pregame show. Though we have to talk about that pregame. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I wasn't impressed with. I'm saying I wouldn't. Steelers, man, it is what it is. Don't get me started on the Steelers because I feel this is a Ravens show. Y'all get me amped for like something I need not to be amped about. All right.
You know why? Probably because the Steelers talk has already started, and so
they felt real good. You got corny Russ doing a weird dance. I'm just over it. I'm over them, man. Yeah, I'm over it. I'm over it.
But if that pass defense don't tighten up, Russell Wilson can definitely.
He can throw a bomb or two. You just gotta play the bombs. You just gotta play the bombs with him. You play a bomb,
you act like that's easy right now.
I know that's the truth though. I know That's why they need Tre'Davious White to do something.
That's what I'm saying. If he could be a spark, they need a spark right now.
You said, please beat them, Raven. Yeah, please beat them. See, because everybody knows it's Paul's a Commanders fan. He's annoyed with the whole Steelers talk as well. All right, so let's go. I want to get this out the way, because a lot of talk. Joe Burrow had a great game. He had 428 yards and 4 touchdowns. But he threw the ball like 56 times. So, I mean, he's going to have more yards. He threw the ball like 56 times. Lamar had 290, 4 touchdowns as well. Only threw the ball 33 times. He swept Joe Burrow this season. Mm-hmm. So, can we stop the talk that Joe Burrow better than Lamar?
I think that should absolutely be stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember the record, but Lamar
got a crazy record.
Lamar's beating Joe Burrow with not even, like you were saying earlier, as his previous version, which is not like he's way beyond that now.
Yep.
So it might be a long time before Joe Burrow beats Lamar Jackson because he's only getting better.
Yes, I agree. I just think we need to stop. Like, I know everybody likes to gas up Joe Burrow.
They want everybody to be better than Lamar.
It's facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
They want everybody to be better than Lamar. And the numbers are the numbers.
You know it.
The production is the production. The record is the record.
Yes. I'm with you. I just feel like we need to stop. We need to stop that discussion. What'd you say?
Don't lie.
Yeah, numbers don't lie. You know what I'm saying? Numbers don't lie. Lamar owned Joe Burrow. It is what it is. I mean, I'm sorry, Bengals fans. I apologize for it.
I mean, they can't dispute that. They probably would try, but they can't dispute that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and the only thing that Burrow got over Lamar is he been to a Super Bowl, but like he didn't win. So what are we doing here? So you got at least like, you know, at the end of the day, like if Lamar gets to a bowl, then gets to the bowl. You can't make that argument. If Lamar wins it, I don't want to hear nothing.
But that is why Lamar just needs to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because no matter how great he does, everybody wants to boil down his greatness to winning a Super Bowl. No, and I'm not saying he needs to do that for everybody else, but at that point, what else are you going to say?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there ain't nothing you can say. There is nothing you can say. Lamar has shown folks that he is him this year. And I'm happy for the dude. He's just a good dude. So I'm just happy. Again, I've never met Lamar, but just the way he carries himself, I like it. There's no arrogance with the way he carries himself. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. So, hey, Carita, before we end this show, how can folks catch you on social media and catch your content anywhere?
Yes, be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at Carita C. Parks. All of my Ravens coverage is at Bowie TV. So that's at Bowie TV Sports on all platforms. Also the YouTube channel. And then you can find all my other sports takes on Double Take Sports. That's at DBL Take Sports on all social media platforms.
Yeah. Make sure y'all check the Double Take Sports, man. She doing the Ravens. Oh no, the Ravens, the Wizard stuff. You know what I mean? Covering the Wizards.
When the Mystics roll around, we have to pay some special attention to the Mystics this season because they are going to have new GM, new coach. Who knows what else?
So you already know what time it is, man. So make sure y'all pull up, man. All right, before we tap out, tune in to our Ravens Steelers pregame show.
Yes,
they got Steelers next, right? Pregame show. So make sure y'all tune in. That game's at 1:00, right?
It is.
At 1:00. So we can pull up on 12.
Yeah.
We can pull up on 12. All right, we're gonna pull up at 12. We'll be streaming. It'll be streaming live on our YouTube, IG, and Facebook accounts. The pregame will also be streaming on the Bowie TV YouTube channel. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also follow us on X at Urban Sports Scene, IG, and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene. And like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page.
Yes.
If you're folks, please subscribe to both Bowie TV YouTube channel and the Urban Sports Scene YouTube channels, man. Just subscribe, hit that red subscribe button. Also, like both videos. If you watch this on Bowie TV, make sure you hit the like button. You watch this on Urban Sports Scene, hit that like button, and both times red subscribe. Bang bang. You know what I mean? Boom boom. All right, y'all, man. Also, you want to check us out on our website? Just check us out our Urban Sports Scene website. Just check us out at www.urbansportscene.com. All right, man. Appreciate Carita for being on. Always appreciate Carita. She's amazing. She's amazing. Anyway, y'all been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. Yiddy deuces. We are out.